I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it. I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
Well, we're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening.
So wake up with Michele Meiche, the place to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening.
Understand what living awake is.
Hey, gang. Multitasking here and forgot my to unmute the mic. Hello, everyone. Oh, my gosh, great to connect with everyone. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you like what you hear, feel, and connect to, and become a regular part of this amazing community. Also, hey, everyone, want to give you a shout-out, those people that left 5-star reviews on Apple, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever, the whole Apple thing where there's reviews. I saw some, and I really, really appreciate it, and also really appreciate those of you that have subscribed to Awakenings with Michele Meiche on YouTube and Soul Insights and Tarot on YouTube. So trying to interweave of the platforms of the communities and in the works to create ways that we can connect more, share information, insights, what we're doing, how we're doing. So there is a lot going on behind the scenes. It always takes a bit longer than what you think or what you want. Please let me know in the chat, how is the sound? Is the sound okay? Can you hear me? I'm on a different mic, so I hope so. Yeah, so let me know. Oh, if you are listening by phone, that's great. Or you want to listen by phone, that number is 347-539-5122. Press 1 on the keypad if you have a question, a comment, or you want to share something, okay? Also want to let everyone know that we're doing a lot on Patreon. That's Soul Awakening, the soul path of awakening. I mean, it's just, I am so loving connecting. Oh, great. Thank you, Teresa. I am so loving. I just did a deep dive with the guides about economy, upcoming things, more to come. Actually, we have some people in the Patreon Soul Path community, and there is more coming to prepare. You know, and a lot of people ask me, how do I prepare for what's coming? I mean, what I see as a psychic channel, backed by a lot of the astrology is another lens to look at it, and a lot of it is mental, emotional preparation, connecting to your soul, understanding your soul so you understand your soul path of where to be and what to do. Really, really, really best not to get caught up in drama and outer circumstances. And, you know, as things intensify, that is going to be more and more challenging to do unless you're really connected to your path and understand that. Then it's kind of like, I've worked with, as a hypnotherapist, I've worked with elite athletes and even some that won medals at the Olympics. And I got to tell you, their focus, any of the athletes I've worked with, from surfers to, pole vaulting, a lot of different a lot of different athletes at one time that I worked with. And more than any, I mean, I've worked with execs, I've worked with a lot of high intensity, I call them, instead of type A, a lot of them are double or triple type A. And they have good focus. But let me tell you, those athletes, I worked with someone that scaled Yosemite, the side, which I can't think of what is it called when you're climbing with the cleats and the. But what always came up in the sessions that I was always amazed at is when they were doing what they were doing, they said everything tuned out. And I am a master meditator. I meditated for years. Like some of you know, at one point for years on my path, I was meditating 2.5 hours in the morning, 2.5 hours at night. So yeah, I can be very high consciousness, but I don't know about that. I don't know what you would call that that level. I even had one athlete that I worked with that she said when she got, I think she was doing the track and field, and when she prepared to do the run or sprint, whatever it's called, she said she looked up at the stands and she says, people were clapping. She goes, but I didn't hear a thing. And I thought, wow, that's an interesting mindset. So somehow we're going to have to get that in our own way, in a flexible way. Some of us do it by inspiration, passion, purpose, getting caught up in something we love to do, or curiosity. It manifests differently. That's why I've previously in some workshops and talks that I've done, keynote talk, I've talked about myself, because in that way, just like what I just shared, is because everybody does it in a different way. And what makes somebody be able to do it to that level, maybe somebody else hears all the cheering and the clapping and listens to it or becomes one with it or can hear it or see everything but not get thrown off it. So I think that's why it's really important right now to really understand yourself, really connect into yourself, that inner map of yourself. What makes you tick? And honestly, to be honest with yourself, because when you're doing these kinds of self-assessments, and I think it's really important when you're consciously living on a path to tune in and get beyond the ego mind and see how you really operate, then, because it's not about anybody else, then you're going to understand you and what motivates you, which, by the way, has a lot to do with that Scorpio moon that we had last night. I don't know what the moon is in now. Is getting to the surface and seeing, no glossing over, seeing what really makes someone tick. Because a lot of times we kind of fool ourselves, Like, I know for me, if I get extremely overwhelmed, I leave things. I leave it, not till where it's like totally last minute or is delayed or overdue. But if I don't know what to do or what to do next, I just will leave it if I get too overwhelmed. Now, some people just attack in and get everything done, but I've learned, and I've tried to be a different way. And so there's upsides to that and there's downsides, just like sometimes somebody getting something done really quickly or right when they first hear about it, there can be downsides to that too, especially in this day and age, like you don't really need to do it anymore, or so much has changed that it's a moot point now. It doesn't make any difference that you got it done so quickly. But I think really being honest with yourself right now, I feel that that's what all these retrogrades are about. Jupiter retrograde, in Taurus, Uranus retrograde, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto, we've had Venus retrograde, we've had, Mercury is going retrograde. And it's not so much, we don't have these retrogrades. We do. We always do have these retrogrades. But the quality, the intensity, and what the focus is changes depending on what the configuration is universally, in the collective chart, if you will, as well as in our individual chart. So we're always in this kind of refinement, or we're in and out of it. Sometimes we're just sailing along. It literally is like sailing or navigating, on a boat, where you don't have to course correct. You don't have to change course. Sometimes it's like you're on a, speedboat or motorboat. Sometimes you are on a sailboat, And you have to keep checking in with the wind. You have to do the adjustments through the sails, right? With the jib, the jab, whatever. I can't think of the other word. So it's really up to you to tune in and see what's the course correction. I can tell you that between now, February, March, that there is going to be a redirection on a huge way for people, a course correction, something that comes to light that greatly changes your path, your life, your approach to life, your approach to your path or your job, your work, your relate, something significant. Those of you that have done the Key Codes workshops with me, it is the 10-10-292. That is, and I've had people emailing me and messaging me saying, I keep seeing 10-10, keep seeing 10-10. So we've been working with that vibrational frequency of 1111, finding each other. That's not going to end, the finding each other. But the 10-10 is prepare. And you have to prepare psychologically. You have to prepare the ego so that you're attuned to the right decision, to the resilience, to what to go towards, what to release, what to let go of. What is that big idea that wants to come through now on a soul level that not only supports this new aspect of you that's being birthed, but also what supports the soul expression, the soul experience, what's in that direction. So it is like this part coming up through the subconscious. It's a new archetype through the creative unconsciousness. It's even beyond the collective unconsciousness. It's a different take on the archetypal energy of forging through. A different dynamic of that Aries energy. The Mars or Martian energy. And look at that. Mars is our action or how we move forward in the world. Martian, extraterrestrial, other dimensional, other planetary. So it connects us into our galactic beingness through the galactic center, through where do we connect into the galactic center, which is mid-degrees of Sagittarius. So you might look at where is Sagittarius in your chart and what's happening in your 9th house. Jupiter and Taurus, that's a highlight of what are the changes, what is the up-leveling of frequency and information in formation, what is coming in new form, what are the new ingredients that are coming in. And if you really kind of pause and connect in, you will say, oh, things have changed, or I'm changing, or I'm doing this differently. You're seeing much more of how we have to surrender, how we have, in a way, no control of the big picture, but we're able to navigate. So in other words, if I'm in a snowstorm, or I'm in the high seas, if I'm in, a squall, a sea storm, or if the ocean gets stagnant with the waves and I'm sailing, I got to put the motor on. Even if I don't like motor, putting the motor on in the sailboat. If there's no wind, I can't just sit there for days and days or hours and hours. You got to generate the wind. So it's really understanding the environment that you're in, watering the grass. I posted this the other day on my, Instagram stories. Water the grass where you are. Where you are has all the kernels of where you're going and what you're becoming, the next level of your unfolding of your becoming, the breakthroughs. And so where you find yourself has the exact skill set that you need to develop for the next level of the Great Awakening and the ascension process. It's all there, but we have to kind of slow down and tune into it and see where is the wind shifting, what's the weather, what do I need to do? And I think what I need to do and want to do is get to callers, 347-539-5122. Let's connect with people. Please press 1 on your keypad if you have a question, a comment, or if you have something you want to say. Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey,
Teresa. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I do have a question. In 2024, there is a good possibility that I will be speaking at a TEDx conference in the Dominican Republic, as well as presenting at a conference there. What do you see around that?
Okay, that's a big question. What do you mean specifically?
Do you see the TEDx materializing?
I feel so, but it's showing it's a possibility. It does show more speaking around you. It shows there could be multiple opportunities, or there's something also with you in New York, connecting there. And is this in regards to also some kind of workshop or something?
It's
a cruise. There's something else connected that you're going to be doing.
No, it has nothing to do with a cruise. It has to do with, I'm writing a chapter for a book called Unleashed, and as part of that, they're also doing a conference, an international conference.
Workshop. Yeah, that's why I kind of got either workshop around it or cruise, because, and why I say cruise, it looks like something, conference, that's another way to look at it, because it looks like people coming over from all over the world or different people, and I see breakout rooms, so I feel like there's going to be multiple things that are going on. I'm not getting, unless there's some divine intervention, there's something that, because we do have a lot of changes in 2024, really 2025, so you're probably okay in 2024 with this, but I do feel like you're definitely doing much more of this, and if what I'm seeing and being shown, and feeling that it has to do with some kind of workshops or group activity, or as you say, a conference, then it does look like it is a go. I would just be very flexible, because I don't know if it's multiple talks, or there's something kind of changeable as to how it unfolds. And maybe they're planning it now, how they want to do it with this conference, or what's attached in the speaking engagement. But it is, is it connected? Maybe I'm seeing, you know why I thought cruise? Because I'm seeing, maybe it's hotel rooms I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's at a resort.
Okay,
it's at a resort.
That's why.
And the TED Talk is separate from the conference, but the person that is running the conference is hosting the TED Talk.
Okay, that's why. So still stuff has to be flushed out. But I'm definitely seeing that conference, because I'm seeing all these, they look like, it looks very tropical. They look like stater rooms. So, hotel, resort, workshops, different breakout rooms, different things that are going on. It could be the development of a circuit is what I'm hearing. So there could be more that comes from this as well. Anyway, Teresa, I hope that gives you some clarity.
It does. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm, like you said, things could change, and I know the person that is really in charge of this is a pretty flexible person. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of the things didn't change. But I'm really interested in the TEDx talk, and I'm hoping that she's able to really work that out.
Well, it's happening anyway, because I see you doing more of that. So I would just know that you're definitely on the right track and making the right connections, branching out and making the right connections, the right groups. Because that is the big push, I would say, the next 2.5 years. And that doesn't mean that it's going to stop or slow down after that. but there's a real push, and I think you've heard me talk about it in the Soul Path Journey group, or Soul Path Journeyer group, rather, in Salon, is that there is this push for people to connect with and to overlap. That'll probably come more, probably a little bit more 2024, but for sure by 2025, is overlapping communities, that have a different angle, so to speak, or different emphasis, but to really start working more in these, group formats, coming together more in these, group. So especially smaller groups and then aggregate to larger groups, pulling different groups together. So I'm kind of excited to see what what is put together, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting, and a lot of groups are forming, from what I could see. There are a lot of small groups.
They're starting
groups.
to. Yeah, there's been, but the overlap hasn't come yet, where they're bringing, kind of like what I do on this podcast, is just bringing different people together with, different views and with different areas in life. If you notice, most people stay in their own genre, their own area, right? And so the next thing, right, it's like, think about if you're, I'm going to think like back in the gold rush days or something, and a group is going, they'll have the doctor, they'll have whatever, so maybe the astrologer, the miner, the nurse, the person that tends to the horses, the cook, right? You know what I'm saying? These are what needs to start happening, is that a lot of these groups stay very insular. So it's kind of utilizing more of the people within the group that have different skill sets to come together. But that's coming. But this is the part where people start coming together more. You're right. I mean, and it's I would say in the last, it's not that there hasn't always been groups online or in person. There has been a lot, but people are really finding more of what's really more of their soul resonance and where they can contribute more. All right, Teresa, great to connect with you. Nice to hear your voice.
You also, and I love all the things you're doing on Patreon. It's really so good. So thank you so much for
thank you. You're always so inspiring and encouraging, and I appreciate that. And I've got another, download, one that I'm transcribing, and another one that's coming in more of the upcoming changes mid this year and the next year. So I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for the reading.
Yeah, talk to you later. Hi, you're on air.
Hi. Hey,
Hi.
This is Jessica. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Jessica. Hi.
Hey. I was wondering, when do you see me comfortable and settled in my own home? I've spoken to you a couple times over the last year, and I've been living in different places, and that's still the case. So
yep, I see that.
I'm just kind of tired of it. I mean, I see the purpose of it, but I'm tired.
Yeah, I can tell that in your voice. It's like, there's so much of that going on right now to get more of the resonance, into the soul resonance. Okay, it still seems like it's going on for a bit longer. It feels like there could be a bigger move around you. Are you wanting to do a long distance move?
I don't think so. I mean, I've spent the last year and a half living different places in Pennsylvania, which is a new state for me. And now Spirit sort of has me circling around this same general area. Like I'm living in a hotel now. And it's a nice hotel. I mean, there's no complaints about it. I'm safe. And again, it's a fancy hotel, but I want to be back in my own house, and I want to have my stuff. And and settled. I did recently reconnect with my parents, and they live in Florida. So
yeah, see, I would
Florida.
say more there. I don't feel that area for you. There's some limitation or restriction in your outer life, and also whatever would have to do either with your work, career, or destiny. So that area, for some reason, is not the best area for you. That's why I asked about a long-distance move, because I feel like you are. Huh?
Go ahead. You feel like I am what?
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you. I've been planting seeds for, doing my own career here for quite some time. So all that work I've put in, that's the thing. It hasn't blossomed just yet, but it feels like it's like right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, trust your own inner knowing. Trust what you feel.
Well, can you tell me what you were saying before about the Florida thing, or just?
I don't think that the area is. I don't know why. I just feel like there's restriction there. I think it's going to be very hard to do whatever it is that you want to do there. Nothing's ever impossible, but it's showing individual limitation. So I don't know if you're not connecting with a lot of people. It's showing it's hampering you individually as a person. Your ego, your personality, how you want to express. There's something restrictive there. I feel your soul wants to lighten up and live an easier life, and I don't feel you're going to be able to do it there. And I think you can take whatever you're doing, and go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you, but not on purpose. I just thought that. Go ahead. I want you to finish your comment.
No, that's it. That's all. I'm going to go to the next caller because we've got quite a few calls I want to get in. But I hope that gives you some insight, and you can kind of feel it out and see. Maybe visit Florida or reconnect with some people there, or new people, maybe, because I do see I see a move. So, however that translates.
A lot of people are very programmed and into the whole agenda stuff here. That's one of the issues that I keep bumping into.
Yeah, I know. What kind of agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Like government?
Well, it's the whole Kahan, yeah. All the different elements of that. Mm-hmm.
Well, is it restrictive? Is there lockdowns and all that kind of stuff?
So there isn't right now, but one of the things that I want to teach about and come out about more is teaching about basically freedom and helping people get freedom. And when you mention things like this, I mean, it's a big pharmaceutical area and healthcare area, and I'm deep in it.
That's why. See, what you want to do there, it's not even just the people; it's the energy, it's the energetics of the place. Whenever we move someplace, this is why when I work with whether workshops or groups or individual clients for manifesting, and they're going to do a move, or they're looking at where's the best place, I say you have to connect into what are the qualities of the people you need and want to be around, and the qualities or energy of the environment, because things hang in the air. So when you have all that restriction, all that limiting, old 3D programming of, religion and pharmaceutical and medical, that's in the air. That's why people go to sacred sites, or you go, oh, I'm so inspired at the Louvre, I started painting, because what's hanging in the air is the vibration of inspiration for thousands and thousands of years. And it really does work. If I will always tune in and feel the energy of the place. I know what I need. I need artists. I need spirituality. I need nature. I need health. I know it's not so much the exact people or places, it's the energy that those things bring in. And so whenever we do that, we get in alignment with our soul, and we're guided to the best place that we're meant to be that has that combination. And it's so interesting, Jessica, because I've lived all over the country, I've lived all over the world, and every time, because I'm always aligned to that, I find all these like-minded individuals, like-minded places, And it's, oh, I didn't know there was this there. I didn't know they had that. Oh, yeah, they have this, they have that. Oh, around the corner is this, around the corner is that. You meet and things just open and flow, because hanging in that etheric field, in the energetic frequency, the morphogenic field, the field of consciousness is what you want and what you're about. And so it's really important that we connect into that vibrationally of what's hanging in the air, right?
Yeah,
it's so really important. Just think,
It is so true, but you know,
yes, I gotta go, sweetie, because this is I gotta go. I know there's a lot. Okay, lots of love. Big hug. Bye.
Okay.
Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing great. Who is this?
This is Jackie calling from New Jersey.
Hey, Jackie. Good. Ooh, I like your energy. Yes.
And you know what? I've been working on it because I'm very empathic. I keep getting a lot of different downloads and attacks at the same time. And, you know, meditation has helped me.
Oh, yeah.
So I do live in a very chaotic, static environment at this time, and I work in it as well. But now I'm learning how to manage it. The only thing that throws me off is that I am dealing with a lot of individuals, specifically family members, who are struggling mentally. They're struggling mentally, spiritually. You know, my husband is struggling physically, and my manifestation is right in the middle of all of this, but everyone seems to be pulling at me at different times. So
I was just going to say, because see, no matter what you go through, I don't care if you have bad days, depressed days, you get angry, you cuss at something, it doesn't matter. Your core energy is a beacon of light. You're very connected to your higher self and aligned to your soul. And that's why a lot is going on around you that can tend to happen. Some people, when they incarnate on this dimension, are kind of are sometimes placed in areas where there's a lot of density or negativity. There's a lot that tumultuousness that people go through because you have that inner strength and that inner core just by being you. You kind of help people settle it. Now, what your next lesson, though, is to get involved less. Give them an idea and then say, okay, I know you can handle it, or here's some tools, but you got to do it. So because you're going to have to extract yourself a bit. You're going to have to create some psychic space a bit. But they feel that light. They feel that inner strength, that core. You know, and I can even see it energetically. There are people that have this gift where it's like the wound. It's all and it's part of it is because you are an empath, but it's even happening beyond that. It's happening in the your energetic field, that your energy kind of just gobbles up. What we say in some Native American traditions, it gobbles up the energy and makes it usable energy. You're a transmuter. You transmute the energy so that it goes into the universe. So if people aren't transmuting their own energy or processing, you do it, whether you want to or not. And you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, protect yourself with white light." This or that. No, if you have that gift or that power, that's what's going to happen. So you have to be a bit more choosy about how long or how much time you spend with certain people, how much you get invested. Right? If you through them a lifesaver or even a life raft, and they're not getting on the life raft and they're still swimming in the water and saying, "Come in and put me on the life raft," you're going to have to distance, right? But yeah, you're very powerful. Do you do healing or nursing or anything working? Because I'm getting like a strong like healer, like maybe it's past life I'm picking up, but I really get this powerful energy of transmuting energy. I feel like you can go in a room and diffuse something, or you can feel the energy if something's off, and where the off energy is coming from. And in an office or corporation.
That is true, because I'm actually a school teacher. And, I actually do that on a regular basis. But like you say, I'm now learning that sometimes I have to really pull back and distance myself because not to internalize everybody else's muck. But outside of that role as well, even in my family, I didn't realize until my mother actually transitioned, and she was actually like the healing force in the family. Like, I'm amazed at the things that my mother was able to do with her presence. And I feel as though when my mother transitioned, it was transferred to me. And I had to go
you had it already.
12 years.
You had it coming in. You had it already coming in. I feel you're recognizing it in her. Now, her crossing over, because a lot of times when people cross over, we get because everything's interconnected and everyone, we a piece of them stands out, right? It's like some part of us is that we already have. Like I knew, like when my dad crossed over, it was so interesting because he was a Gemini, out and about. Listen, he was in hospice and he was thinking he was going to have a date with a woman that was like 20 years, 30 years younger than him that he had been going out with. So my dad was like out and about till the very end. But when he crossed over, I felt, oh my God, I'm like, oh my God. All of a sudden, I got more activated, and I knew, and I could feel it was my dad's energy. I'm like, oh my God. That Gemini energy was just coming through me, and like him, out and about, it was a quality of energy. So I definitely agree it's more emphasized in you, and you're recognizing it. But you came in this way, and your mom was a mentor for you. You and your mom have a lot of resonance.
Both of my parents. Both of them?
Okay.
And both of them in different ways, and which leads me to this, my question. So, I've been working on manifesting a move and somehow bringing the family back together, whether they come kicking and screaming, because I've been dealing with a lot of egotistical stuff that really, when the ego stepped in, it became very antagonistic. It became very vicious at some times, and then I saw what envy and jealousy really looked like. And like you said, transmuting, like I literally have taken nothing at times and turned it into something. And now I'm at the point, this is 12 years later, where I'm dealing with envy.
Yeah.
And I still want to move forward with the manifest. Question is, what can you see in terms of me achieving those things that I want to achieve? I want to physically move
you
home.
will, but you have to. The thing is, our high vibration, when we're with those that have a lower vibration or lower consciousness or awareness, gets lowered a little bit. If we're with people that have higher or more enthusiastic or energized or passionate, ours rises if we're open. So there's this medium range, right? That's in the whole earth plane. There's always this medium range. This is why, by the way, we're talking about manifestation. A lot of people say, why haven't I been able to manifest this? Well, even if you look at technology, there's certain things that we can do now that we couldn't do 5, 10, 20, 25 years ago. Why? Because the technology wasn't there, the app. I'm able to do reels. I'm able to do artist things. I've always been this amazing artist. But I've been handicapped because I'm not a great drawer, right? I don't paint. But now I can do it digitally. So the same thing happens, Jackie, is until the mainstream consciousness, the collective consciousness shifts enough, there's certain things we cannot manifest because there's not enough resonance or the vibration for it, the higher vibration and consciousness for it. That's the same thing when we are in families and groups. And this is why business people say, I can't remember who was it. I'm seeing his face, and I actually did some work with them as a coach, and I cannot think of the name right now. But anyway, he's a very famous business coach company that accredited a lot of business coaches. If anybody knows what it is, put it in the chat. And he said the closest 7 people around you are very important, and you can look at where they're at as determining.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no joke.
The closest 7 people around you.
Yeah, this is why people change it up. So if this is the case and you got people pulling you down or don't see your vision, or you're trying to manifest big dreams and they're still working on, wounding and inner child work and they're stuck there, you got to come to Patreon, do our Soul Path Journeyer group once a month, mastermind. There's a lot of you've got to find ways to bump up your frequency or match your frequency and help hold it there. Because if you're around a lot of people, it's chronically. It's not weaving in and out of it, but when we're around people chronically.
Because I've been dealing with energy and vampires. I'm talking about even from a distance.
I know.
Because
then
to be
you
honest
can't
with
manifest.
you, I prefer to be in my solitude space at this point. So the thing that I want in terms of moving forward, like I have the location where I want to be so that I can work on me. Because if I'm the light, if I'm the light and I'm the beacon for the rest of them, I still need to be grounded. And where I want to be grounded.
But let's clear this up. I want to do this quickly because then I got to go to the next person. But you're not the beacon for them. You're just a beacon. Yeah, it's weird. That's a big misnomer. We think, we're the beacon.
Okay, I received that. Okay, I can see where I received that.
Okay,
I do receive that. I don't want to take too much of your time, but the thing is, like recently, I went into like a very low place because of the vibration of the people who I care about, but they don't seem to care about me in the same fashion, right? I really literally could feel them, and we're not in the same location, but they're energetic cords. I actually can feel it. I now recognize what it is. It usually first gets me in my back. Like my kidneys can just start hurting me, and nothing's wrong with my kidneys, right? But my thing is, again, I really want to learn how to retract that negativity. I'm
telling you, but you gotta slow down and receive this, because I've been there. You can't. A lot of times we incarnate with certain groups or families, or we have people around us that are meant to push us forward. We have to focus more on ourselves, especially in the new paradigm of what we're meant to do. We're not here just to save people, really. That's not it. We're not.
Right.
If that happens, and that can be part of our mission, but we're here to live our own life, our soul. God is the expression of the all that is as us. So you're going to have to, at some point, make some tough decisions, because with what you want to manifest, with what you create, I would say is nearly impossible to impossible with the dynamics that you have set up, because all your juice is going to processing what's going on, jealousy, and all of that, bad vibes, psychic vampires. All your energy is going to that. It's like when we're healing from something, like if we have the flu or something, or we, break our leg, a lot of our energy and attention goes to that. We can't, there's a lot of things we can't do until we get through that healing, right? So that's where you're at right now. That's the question. So, you're gonna. Some of them you perhaps can't leave or move on from, but you're going to have to find a way to get psychic space and get new influences in to bump up your vibrational frequency and help keep it up there.
Okay.
All right, sweetie, keep in contact.
Thank you. Could I continue to listen until the show?
Oh, yeah, please listen. Keep listening. Go ahead. Hi, you're on air. Hello. Hello. 845, you were on air. Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle. It's Debbie. Thank you for taking my call. I'm so excited to listen to all of the callers. It's such a seeming like common thread of everybody wanting to shift and move on.
Right?
And
good info.
Yes, and it's actually really good, even though people are sad with what's they're experiencing, it's actually really good. I think. I mean, and there's such a gift in all of this that it's in my eyes to be pushed along, helped along, to refine, to narrow the focus, and that's what I'm doing.
Yes.
I'm doing what you said the last time. Work on my body. I've got great practitioners, and I'm really entertaining moving from the Pacific Northwest, where I've been for 15 years. 15 seems to be the number.
Good.
Every time I move. And I would like to know what you feel about me moving. I don't like the word back or returning to, but I don't know how to say it. But I did live in Del Mar for a long time, and I'm feeling the pull to go toward Cardiff and Sanitas in that vicinity.
Well, I'm seeing if you feel the pull, follow it, even if you just go there and visit and feel the resonance. You know, many of us go back to where we once, were. I'm going to be going back to Europe. When I moved to Europe, I moved back to Encinitas, Lucadia, and then I moved back to the west side in LA area, now moving back. So there's always, we'll kind of think of it as a spiral. If we move back, we're not moving back in the same old. There's something new, something to complete.
Correct.
And or begin again. I feel a move is really, really good for you. I feel, and you know what, whatever you've been doing, first of all, your aura is tingling, is vibrating higher, and the messaging that I'm getting from your energy field is a yes to life, a yes. So something shifted, because if you probably even think back, I don't want to put words in your mouth or project, but what I would interpret was kind of like a no, I don't want to go on, or I can't, or it's too difficult, just like a lot of no, I don't want to live, it's too difficult. Now I'm feeling and seeing this resounding yes.
Good.
So you have much more vital life energy right now. So that's going to make it easier for you to do the transition, the move, and the transition that comes from that, where you're feeling, feeling better in your body. Healthier, but also there's a mental, emotional health. Yeah, you're ready to take on some stuff. You're ready to share and teach. I do see teaching and speaking.
Yes.
I see writing. Here's a message.
Yes.
Make whatever you're writing shorter so you can get more out.
Yes.
More volumes, more episodes. You're going to be asked, I don't know if it's either a video or it's a, if you hear me rumbling, I'm getting my tea. It's either a video or a documentary. There's a little piece or part that you're going to have with animal communication.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm definitely ready. I'm so excited and just ready to roll. Just like let's get on with things.
That's what I'm saying. See, you're ready. That's what you're saying. Yes, I'm ready. Let's go. Yes, the universe is going. Are you ready for the next? Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes, and you're right on target with the teaching and the speaking and the writing, and I am working on making something very short in my third book. I'm
keep doing that and
making short.
Post it, make it available, do some little video. I think somebody is going to ask you. I think that's why you're moving. I think someone is going to ask you. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that may happen later, but don't worry, I'm not saying like, it's a documentary all on you, but it's like it's either different healing modalities or something with animals.
Yes.
And they interview you and they talk to you. And, Debbie, you're ready. Oh, my God, keep us posted. This is so very exciting. I'm
really excited. I mean, I really am. I'm ready. I'm ready to just speak on it and just cut to the chase about things that people make really long and drawn out and go down the wrong path about something, and it's just simple, let me let me just say this and heal, let me do my healing work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I called you.
All right.
I called you about a month ago, and I asked you about the cat that I was living with, and he had a swollen leg, and I did not take him to the vet. What I decided to do just was a complete transmission. Just downloaded and just put him into the transmission, and really, truly, the next day he had no swollen leg.
Oh, perfect. See, there you go. You're already doing what you're, writing about and going to write more about, share more about.
Oh, great.
All right,
thank
Debbie.
You.
Thanks for calling
thank you, Michele.
in. Yeah. Big hugs.
Many
Bye.
blessings to you. Big hugs.
Thank
Bye.
you. I take it in. Thank you for those blessings. I feel it coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, you're on air. Hello. 914, you're on air.
Hello. Oh, thank you for taking my call.
Hi.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm calling from New York.
Hi, Catherine. What's your question?
I'm wondering, please, I was thinking of taking on a work project. It starts with the letter F. I was wondering if you feel that's the right move right now for me.
Okay, let me see.
Thank you. Ooh, yeah, but funding. So you're going to have to rethink some part of it. Let's see, what's Project F. Yeah, there's probably going to be, it's either a longer project or you're having to get the funding for it. Something about resources. I feel like the next step for you is to look for someone to help you with this. But yeah, it's showing it's going to take more money, or it takes a certain amount of money to do whatever you're doing. Now, if you do it, it does show that there could be definitely a transformation in your resources and how you view yourself, and as far as your money. So it could really take off. What's the best? Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Do I know the person already I should ask, do you think? Or for help, or is it somebody
I'm not
haven't?
sure. You might. If you do, it needs to be more, it needs to be more locked in or more tangible. You need to get a little clarity in the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, thank you. I'm really pleasantly surprised because I have lots going on, but I really am feeling drawn to do it. So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm just finding this time of soul alignment that I call it bridging, and I teach this in my manifestation courses, or when I'm working with people privately, is that when you are bridging, a lot of times there is a lot going on, and it can sometimes be very overwhelming. This is why you need support, or your spiritual practice, or being in nature, or whatever, multitude of things. That because you have this vision or this idea that you're wanting to draw in or manifest or make it, become a reality, and that takes persistent effort on the work, on the earth plane. That takes work, labor, focus, attention, but then you have to keep everything else going. So my perception would be, if you are drawn to it, do what you can and just keep putting the attention to it little by little, without, just checking in to make sure you're not getting too burnt out or overwhelmed. And if you are, then pull back and say, okay, I did enough for today, let me rest my mind, let me rest my body, or do something else. But yeah, it does look good. I mean, it's not something overnight. I'm definitely not seeing that. It's a transformative process. But it does look like it does bring a big payout, right?
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
Oh,
all right,
thank
Catherine,
you.
keep us posted. You're so welcome.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much.
God
Thank
bless
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, we got Northwest Media. Hello from the Lewis and Clark Bridge. Hello. Bridging. Columbia River on the Washington State side. Ooh, Washington State. Beautiful area up there. Welcome, everyone in the chat and those listening by phone, and, of course, those of you listening later in the archives. It's time for the second half of our program. Today we have Dr. Reverend Christopher Macklin, a medical intuitive, paranormal conduit, spiritual teacher, but also works with as a UFO expert, which I've had some UFO experiences, some contact a few times in my life, so I am kind of excited to see what he thinks about that and what is going on and whatever else is happening in his world. So let's bring Christopher on. Hi, Christopher.
Hi, thanks for having me on, bless you. Lovely to be on.
Oh, bless you too. Great. Cheers. Where are you calling from?
Well, that's a great old place. It's called Missouri, and it's near, it's around Branson, Missouri.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've ever been there. I've been to the Midwest, different parts. Okay. Wow, all right. So let's just dive in a little. I want to know a little bit about your background, whatever you're comfortable sharing, so we can get to know you a bit better. And
I don't mind sharing everything.
Some people do.
I'll share everything.
I don't
care.
Believe it or not,
you know
some people come on the podcast and they just want to sell their book. They don't want to talk about themselves. So it's like
no.
I always tell people, people will buy the book, even in the chat. People will buy the book. They'll do the courses, the classes, if they feel a vibe, if they feel a resonance, if people are interesting. And I'm naturally nosy, so I want to know about people. You know, that's part of the reason I do the podcast. Is I want to know. I'm curious.
Well, you've got to be nosy. Okay, so let me give you a bit of background. So when I was born, really interesting, 2 days after, must have got attacked. Well, my father said 5, my mother said 8, and she's not here anymore, so I can't clarify that. Either 5 or 8 strokes, a lot. So I was in hospital for a year as a baby, so abandonment issues. Oh dear. So what happens then is, we go through, and I see beings in the side of my, I can see beings in the corner. Dad, there's a, I called it a dragon thing. It was actually an Anunnaki reptilian thing, but there's something there.
Right.
And I could feel it. You feel that dark feeling in your chest. Wow. And anyway, Dad comes going, where is it? And it's there. He can't see it. Oh, okay. So anyway, I learned to manage it. And I said, get out of my bedroom. It went. So authority really moves these entities. Anyway, growing up, I saw craft in the sky.
Oh, let's underscore that, because I'm always, Christopher, let's underscore that, because I'm always telling people when they're afraid, you just said it, authority. If you're, just like with people embodied, humans, you call the shot.
It's an empowerment. Yeah, you call the shot.
Yeah.
And the universal law says that it has to do whatever to get it out of your space. It's like if you look at all our prayers, I command you, God, to remove all the negative entities, and at the end I always say, and I send you my unconditional. And you say, I can't command God. Why not? You are God. You're part of God. God's within, without, it's all over the place. So if you're a God being, can you command yourself? Well, of course you can. If you view God as the big cheese in the sky, that's okay. The word command is, I want it doing now. It's not rude. If you said, God, I demand, that's rude and obnoxious. But all the prayers have got command in it. And people have a hard time with it. Well, show up and take your power back or not, because these prayers, they're maps of intent. I don't really like the word prayer. I'm not into the word prayer, but I love the word map of intent, because that's exactly what it is. It's creating a map of intent, a manifestation.
Well, I think you have to do affirmative prayer, not passive. A lot of people are just passive.
Yeah, you can't be passive.
I hope. No.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
And a little cussing works every now and then, Christopher. Yeah, a little cussing every now and then at the...
Oh, I see people. I want it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look at George Carlin. He didn't care. He had some I always remember he came on stage just diverting a bit, and he goes, "What's all this crap about saving the planet? Saving the planet? There's nothing wrong with the planet. She's been here for billions of years. It's the people on it that's the problem." And at the end, he said, "She could spit us off like a bad dose of fleas." And it's true, you know. It's not the planet he's saving. It's humanity that he's saving, you know. It's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, digression. So what happened is, saw a craft in the sky, saucers, different things, and there's a flying saucer thing, you know. Oh, it's just you just got a great imagination. Anyway, moved on. Still saw things. Very heightened smell. I can smell, you know, when a dog poos, I can smell it from probably about 200 yards away. Believe it or not. Where's that smell coming from? Right over there. Anyway, moving forward, severe dyslexia. So I get a degree in electronics. My father said, "You're too thick to go to the degree because of the dyslexia." And I said, "Oh, I'm going to get one." Then I got a master's, and then I got some PhDs and stuff moving forward later on. And then I went to work for highfalutin companies and tons of money. And all the time I was in these corporations, at the top of really good projects like the Airbus, like the Eurofighter project, doing the autopilot systems, I used to look around and said, "There's got to be something better than this, you know." And then one day I had a reading. I always remember this reading. So this lady sat down and she said, "Right, we're ready for reading." And then she's talking, you know, to her guides. "Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you." Writing all these things down. And I said, "Well," and this was 20 years ago. She said, "Well, you're gonna have a new wife." Well, you know, okay. And you're gonna move to America. Okay. And you're going to live off donations. I thought, right, okay, you know. Oh, look, it arrived. She was spot on. Everything we're doing, you know, I mean, I don't know whether you know, we work on about 2,000 people a week. We do general groups, we do specialized groups, we do one-to-ones. I do loads of meditations. We're also doing a what we call God kind of ritual thing that we do with about 7,000-8,000 people. We have had 4,000 on. And what that is calling out all the big pharma, all the big tech, all the satanic people, you know, and what we do, instead of judging them, because I'm not into judgment, you can't judge anybody, so what we do is bring them before God for justice, and we say it out loud together. It's a ceremony. In only the way, you know, bring them for justice in only the way and how. It's not for us to judge them. Therefore, we release them to you right now, God, with unconditional love and forgiveness. And we go through each faction. It takes about an hour and a half, and that's actually on the 30th of September. If anyone wants to join that, it's free. You know, I just want to get as many people together because it's about all coming together. And, you know, people think, "Oh, I'm powerless." You're not. God's way more powerful than these people with money. You know, money's just an instrument of exchange. You know, power comes from God. You know, so yeah. And then,
true power.
So I came to America, of course, 20 years later, and opened a ministry. Build it, they'll come, they said. Oh, they didn't. Why is that? Because I got this message one day. I said, "Okay, God, what's happened?" And they said, "Get out there, it's within." Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I started going to expos and more expos, and it took off incredibly. And now we go on podcasts, you know, to give the message out and help people. You know, we're an instrument. The day of the guru's gone. It's finished.
Yeah,
you are your own guru. And I'm just a facilitator to get you back to your guru self. Take your power back. Forget the word hope. You know, I mean, the only time I use hope is when it comes to humanity. I really do hope we get there because, you know, but any other time, if we're doing something, we do it or you don't. Don't think about, well, maybe it's going to happen. You know, do it or don't. It's within you, you know. And that creates the absolute manifestation, the absolute, you know. And it's amazing, you know, you see people's lives. People, well, I can't afford that. Well, stop, back up. Tell the universe, look, cancel that one. Right, we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to do it. Full stop, there is no doubt. And then suddenly things arrive. They say, how did this happen? Well, you just refocus your mind on manifesting what you do want. Like I see people with the glass half full or glass half empty. Forget that. It's nonsense. It's full and overflowing every day, second and minute of every day. You know, it's full and overflowing. You don't want it half full because that's kind of limiting yourself. Like, you're just going to get half of God's abundance. What's that about? Let's do it full full and overflowing. So anyway, that's the thing. So we open
the ministry, full and overflowing. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. It's amazing. So anyway, we open the ministry. It's very successful. We work on thousands of people. If people want a healing session, we do healing by donation twice a week. And I always tell people, look, if you got no money, I went bankrupt in 2007. I was living out of a car. I had absolutely no money. This is from, quite a number of millions of pounds. And it really taught me something really key, and that is about stuff.
What is it?
People say, my house, I might lose my house, I might lose a car. Who cares about stuff? It's just stuff, I mean, have I got a nice house? Yeah, we've got a ministry building. Yeah. If it was lost tomorrow, so what? Who cares? It's about, who you have around you and who you connect with and, who you're being. If you want to be an amazing person, service to others, and, then you can be an amazing being, or, you don't, and you keep all the money to yourself. One thing I learned with the ministry, because when I got here, I hated money. I hate money, And so why do I hate money so much? Anyway, this pastor sat me down and said, right. He said, you go to the hairdresser, and what do they want payment with? $1 bill. Well, why don't you tell her just give them some tomatoes or a bit of lettuce? Would that help? No. Why is that? Because she's got to pay her bills. Yeah, it's just energy, And, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And so I turned my whole life around to the point where you need to have energy exchange because, I've had people criticize, well, you charge for healing. Jesus didn't. Well, it was a different time. Jesus got free rides. He converted water to wine, had a tipple. And, and he got transport, he got overnight accommodation. He didn't need anything else. The problem is with what we do is the IT equipment we have is about $60,000 to $70,000 to be able to keep this maintained. We have staff, 10 staff and, IT guy and all this other stuff. So if you want to keep it going, you have to do that. If not, you're kind of sitting out on the street begging for food. So what's the best idea? Use your gifts or just be begging for food? My idea is let's do our gifts and let's get it out there. So that's the story, summary of my life in a nutshell. So.
Wow. I love that I went on your website and you had something, there was an affirmation. What did it say? I don't chase, I attract. I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
One of the things I want to circle back around to is that on a soul, the preparation, and you're talking about people versus money. In my sense, and I want to get your take on this, what I've been shown in the new merging consciousness of the new paradigm is that since certain things are so, not just up in the air and chaotic, but changing, that really the resource or the currency is our skills, is our connection to our soul, the spirit, and each other, the people that are around us, then we will know what to do. I know a lot of times people are trying to prepare by external means. I'm sure stocking up on, paper towels, toilet paper, and food. I mean, I'm not saying, do that if you need to. But but I think
I remember doing a healing.
You
know when the paper towels ran out, I did a healing and I said, look guys, I apologize, but this is the last sheet in America left. So anyone wants it, you'll have to bid for it. It was just crazy. The whole time was just it was just crazy.
I did not get into it. I don't know, but I didn't buy into it. That's a whole other topic. And being a starseed, I'm a starseed. I found out when I was 8 that I was. So I kind of don't get, tied into that kind of stuff. But what do you see for most people, or what can help people align to the energy and the frequency that is here and coming in more, maybe to get out of stuck mindsets?
Yeah, you've got to retrain your mind. I mean, one of the things I always see is starseeds. I mean, let's just go back to starseeds. So some starseeds have been spliced here at birth because they didn't have enough DNA in the human body. Other ones don't, like Arcturians, Melchizedek, splice it. Palladians, Andromedans, they get spliced in as well. Palladians don't because there's enough DNA to hold. The DNA is obviously
they're
right
hybrids.
Body. It needs to be so it's got to be compatible with the soul. So your soul comes in from that realm. Now, when God says, look, I need volunteers, so you get in the queue, yeah, I'll volunteer. And they said, hang on a minute, let's just look at a bit of experience down here. And don't worry about that, it's not a problem, because you're up there, you've got no stress, it's absolute unconditional love of God. And then you're born down, you come out of the vaginal opening, there's the IRS in the corner saying, welcome to Mother Earth, here's your invoice.
Oh,
and then
God.
after that, it's kind of, oh my God, and
that's so
it's
true.
Crazy.
A friend and I had a chuckle about that last night. We're sharing stories, and I said, now I know that look. Because I didn't find out what a starseed was until my 20s, because, we didn't have all this. But I knew I was one. I had a vision, and I saw when I came down at age 8. And I always remembered, they said you're a starseed and, what I was here to do. And I had this look. I was looking down, and the look was kind of like, oh, I said, oh, they said, you don't have to go. And I said, no, I'll go. It's kind of, I'll do it. And I had this look, and oh, you're right. Then I see different pictures in different parts of my life, especially early childhood, teenage years, and, at school when they took group pictures. I always had that, same look. And I correlated, it's like the look of...
What on earth is this?
Yes!
What has happened? Am I on the wrong
planet? Yes! What did I do here? Like, what am I meant to do? Oh, my God! Yes! Oh, my God. You're the only person that's ever articulated that.
Well, one thing I've always found is, all the one-to-one specialised groups, the first thing to say, well, I kind of don't belong on this planet. It doesn't seem like my planet. Or they say, I think God dropped me off the wrong planet. Or they say, I don't fit in. One of the things about starseed people, don't even try to fit in, because you're going to be on the spectrum because you don't think like the people down here. You're different, so don't even try and change that. So how do you navigate this world? What you have to do is take a step out of it and find the things that give you joy. Within your circle of friends, small circle of friends, you would think all the work, people say, you must have loads of friends. Oh, that would be probably 4, that's it, who are really close, because I find it difficult bringing people who need healing. There's no judgment. It's just that, when your time's off, you have to actually rebalance and let go. When you're on the healing, which I do 12-hour days, 3 days a week, and then you're always doing something, then you're on it, and therefore you're helping people. And then when you're not doing it, you have to take a step back to allow yourself to rebalance, and it's really important. But I think with the starseed, you're not going to fit in, so don't even try. What you need to do is take a step back.
I think that's a big, I'm glad you said that. I think that is a big lesson for us, because so much of the time you love that you're different and the uniqueness and what you know and the gifts, but at the other time you're trying to fit in. It's just constantly trying to fit in, and you keep not fitting in. You can see internally, like, what am I doing?
So
that's really good advice.
You see things very different. Well, it's like it's funny. On my Facebook, you remember? I don't know what the name of it, but remember that autistic doctor who worked in a hospital? You'd see stuff, and the doctor said, "Oh, it can't be that." Then suddenly he was right every time, and he was a genius. But his behaviour was different because he just didn't fit in. It's like us. Our behaviour is probably different. I mean, I'm on the spectrum. I know I am. I've had severe OCD. I've modulated it, except for pairs of pantaloons. I had to buy 84 because, it just made me happy. So I've got 84 pairs of pantaloons, and I guarantee no one listening
things
has got 84 pairs of pantaloons.
Christopher, you're in good. I like things in 3s.
Yeah, I do actually as well. So you're going to be different. You're going to behave different. My dad thinks I'm a fruitcake. One day he said, do you know, I've got to tell you, absolutely barking mad. I said, oh, my God, Dad, that's the best, the most gracious expression you've ever given to me, the most loving thing you've ever said to me. What? Because, he's actually acknowledged that, I'm not like normal, and I think he understands it, but just obviously doesn't get it, and that's okay. So stay in your space, whatever you like doing. If you like food, cooking your food. If you like, we're building a house in the middle of the woods with 42 acres. And every time we go there, the Amish are building it. What a beautiful energy they have, and I knew it was divinely aligned by God. I mean, there's every time I go there, it's 120 degrees the last week, and they're just smiles, and bless their hearts, they're just beautiful people. What do I want to do without electric? No. What about, the rest of it? No. But wow, they're just beautiful people. So what I'm saying is we're building a house around the woods. It's covered with, trees. And therefore, when we go down there, you sit there and you can just feel the trees absorbing that energy. Oh, wow, And, it's amazing. So you have to do the things, whatever spiritual practice like yoga or, Pilates or, also feng shui in your house, whatever, and, do some gifts. Like if you enjoy cooking, I'm not a chef, but I love cooking because I love to please.
Yeah.
And the food tastes good, because you put love in it. So you've got to do things that really excite you.
Yeah, so you're saying the joy or doing what you really like doing rebalances your energy. Is it because we're putting so much out, or what is the...
putting things out and giving ourselves joy, the neurochemical balance, increases, so you start finding yourself being kind of really happy. But one of the biggest things I found, and this is, I call it God's got your back. Okay, what do you mean by that? Well, one thing I learned when I was bankrupt is just having a plate of food, because I went without for 21 days, 7 days, 15 days. I went to Belize. I went all over the world, but I'd no money, and I went to Belize, and the guy who sponsored me said, "Oh, you'll be food there." There was no food. I had to wait for 21 days before I learned, okay, I'm going to manifest food right now, and it came within 15 minutes. But I think, just being, just look at the gratitude of what you do have, everything. And, it's not like getting a gratitude stone. That's all a part of God, you've got 5 minutes, right? I'm grateful for my wife, my car, right, we're done. It doesn't work like that. To me, gratitude is like that inner passion of being grateful for what I'm doing, because I absolutely love what I'm doing. I'm not in the corporate world. I'm excited for people when I see the change. It's a whole way of life. So gratitude is everything, and you should be grateful every second, a minute of every day, which then means, because of the gratitude, you manifest more of what you're doing, because, God's got my back. Nothing can happen to me. It's like you're saying with the dollar bills, everything's collapsing, this, that, and the other, and people, oh my God, you've got to get crypto, got this. Nah, God's got my back. I mean, I believe we should have food ready, just one of the things, just in case. But I still think God's got our back, and there's no issue. If you believe that, you will manifest that reality, and then you just don't have to worry about anything.
So it's tapping into or aligning to that frequency and belief. That sounds like
it takes a while, I mean, people are depressed. Well, how am I ever going to get there? Well, let's start from the beginning. Let's remove the attachment, because very often when people are depressed, their low vibration allows fourth-dimensional beings like Anunnaki, Draconian, Luciferian, snake being, whatever.
Yeah.
They attach to your body. They don't realize. They tap in the lower back. They send you negative thoughts, so you get all these thoughts like you do anything. Oh, God, that was useless. Oh, pathetic, But it's a you thought. It's not an I thought. So when you remove those and you protect yourself, we've got a protection prayer, the 27 esoteric Merkaba field prayer. If you say that 3 times a day, it'll protect you. That means the entities won't get back in. And little by little, as you keep getting energy, we have a fast-track way of releasing emotion. So we can release like 81, 162, 324, 648, and 1296. But you have to build up to it. And the Mercurial beings literally do psychic surgery on the 100,000 layers, because you're an empath, you're hypersensitive. You release way more emotion than the average person because you care, you feel stuff. Mm-hmm. And so what they do is they go in, look for the biggest layer affecting you right now, pull that out, next biggest, pull that out. So it's a kind of fast-track method of releasing tons of emotion. And once you release that, the trigger points go, you feel more relaxed. What I call the couldn't give a shitometer, in quotes, breaks. And so, it's not that you couldn't give a shit about people. You just couldn't give a damn about what people say about you, what's happening in the world, because it doesn't matter. What matters is what's happening to you and what you're manifesting. Everything else is taken care of. People say the White Hat, oh my God, but they'll let them get on with it. It's not your deal. Step out of this world, be in your bubble, and just have a great time. Watch the movie if you want to, but don't get paranoid by it. Because people go on YouTube, oh my God, and if you're doing that, you're just going to create your own stress and ingest more emotion and make yourself depressed. If you take a step back and allow all the white hat people, whoever they are, we know who they are, it's all happening. I know it is, because we are connected to some top military people. We are doing a pyramid project, and I'll tell you about that in a minute if I can.
Okay.
And so just step back and just enjoy the ride. we've come down to a place. I've actually got one bar. I was worried to death about I couldn't get through with it. I thought, no, God will connect us, and it did.
It's working.
But we're in the middle of the woods with our friends, you know, Tracy and Jim, and just going to go and sit in the creek in a minute. But it's working. But, you know, do some things. You know, let go of all. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, now. What are your thoughts too? Because it feels like we're doing a parallel system or paradigm economy, that it's not necessarily overhauling. Not to say that some doesn't change in the invader dominator system culture, but that it's not. And I feel I'm hearing. Correct me if I'm wrong. You saying that it's not overly focusing on that, because that's the way they control us. If we're worried about what they're putting out there, right?
Well, that's it. You know, you look at the dollar. You know, dollar bill. I mean, it's worth 75% less than in the 70s. It's worth nothing. It's it's history. Now, you've got to remember, because oh my God, they're going to do a reset, full stop. And what's going to happen is that the private Western central bank, the Federal Reserve, which is a private company, we all know it. But because they call it the Federal Reserve, it's government. It's not. It's run by the Rothschilds, Rockefellers. They're lending money to the corporation of the United States Incorporated. It's in Company's House. Hang on a minute. You have a look in Company's House. It went bankrupt in 2019. Go and have a look. Go on companieshouse.com in England. Look at the UnitedStatesAmerica.com. It was bankrupt in 2019. That means they're running now. The deep state people, they're running an insolvent company, which means that once the white hats get back in, they can wipe that company out, all the debt will be gone, and it's a complete reset, and they'll just do a new currency, fund people, dollar by dollar, and you'll be okay. So you won't lose your money. This is just a show. They've broken a lot of the deep state down already, but what they're doing is doing a show because people aren't understanding it, and it takes a long time. You have to see to believe. If everyone believed it, it would be done by now. But they've got to keep the show going a little bit. It's the fear.
They got to keep the show. And I keep reminding people also, people are, Bitcoin, digital currency is going to save. For one, it's a control mechanism. And I'm like, the issue is you're buying the digital currency with dollars, pounds, fiat currency.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
is not going
the
away.
Other thing about it,
the billionaires, and I'm sure you have some clients who are billionaire, multi-millionaire, they are not giving up their cash, folks. They may have Bitcoin and they may have gold and silver, but they're not giving up their cash. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I'm going to tell you, well, they're not giving up their cash, but the problem is that, all these things, they've got to be backed by something, and gold to me is it, or silver, whatever, so... We have the gold back. It's been taken. The Vatican was run by the Rothschilds. All this money's been laundered. Ukraine. Yeah. I mean, look at it. They only give $700 to the poor people in Maui, and yet they're sending billions to Ukraine. Something's not right for this picture, Of course.
But isn't all the money too? It all goes back to the royal family, which goes back into.
Oh yeah.
What Dutch? They're all that little compadres of that area.
Well, they are.
Royal
Bank
of England, the Netherlands, the Dutch.
She's a reptilian witch. She's a reptile.
Yeah.
So is Charles. And Charles, and they're all. I mean, they have the power. They can, wipe you out within 4 minutes if they pick up the phone. But now, what's happened is they're losing their grip and I think the royal family thing will be over. And when I'm speaking to my dad, the coronation was beautiful. Oh, my goodness. And I have to listen to stuff. I said, well, I'm really pleased for your dad that you enjoyed the coronation, bless you. I put the phone down and said, coronation of the next reptilian, Mark II. The first one just passed away, and they're evil people. Those people are evil people, and they're going to be taken out. So, if you're thinking you don't have power, you do. All you have to do is hold the space, know that it's all going to happen. Don't get dragged into all the stuff. I mean, I've done some remote viewing for people in terms of we're connected to the military, some guys in the military, one of the commanders, because we're doing the pyramid project. What's that? Well, we're building off-planet pyramids. They're built in the ninth dimension. They will be switched in time-space. They'll be put down here. So what does that mean? Well, there's three of them. 999.99 feet tall, multiples of 3, 666.666 feet tall, which is multiples of 3, and 333.33 feet tall. Why are we doing this? Well, the answer is that all the pyramids have gone in past. What's happened is they've gone off the ley line, because ley lines move over a period of time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what they're
very
doing
important.
is they're building them. I mean, they're huge things. 1,000 feet tall, that's a huge pyramid. And they're going to be put on the Golden Curve, where the biggest one will be on the ley line to pump energy into it, and the other ones will be on the Golden Curve, separated to power it up. Why are we doing this? Well, at the moment, people don't realise we're in a battle with the reptilian and hybrids versus the human race. What does that mean? Reptilians are under the planet. They don't breathe much oxygen, but they eat, our people, and they're fed people every year. I don't mean people.
And our energy. Anyway. They tap in. They don't. Energy. That's the thing, right? They don't. That's very
interesting. They love our negative energy.
They don't really have a soul, and they're not connected. They're not. They can only survive off of what we emit or give them. And I think when people start realizing, right, when people start realizing that, just pull your energy back, your attention away,
but think about it, there's massive caverns of these things. They've been here since years off. How do you get rid of them? Well, first of all, they can't breathe the level of oxygen. That's why Gates and people like that, who are reptilian hybrids, have no soul, couldn't care less about humanity, want to block out the sun, because the plants will start dying off, the oxygen level will go, and then the reptilians will be on the surface of the planet. And you kind of don't want that, let me tell you. So what we're doing is we're creating these pyramids, because these are low vibrational creatures. So you can imagine if it's pumping energy in the ley lines, the energy of the planet will increase to a point where they cannot stay on the planet. They can't live in the high vibrational state. So they leave or
they become more and more extinct, right? They become extinct.
Yeah.
Their lineage,
absolutely.
right?
Well, it'll wipe them all off the planet. The thing is, though, you've got to think about karma. I mean, these pyramids are put here to help the human race, and if they don't redeem themselves, that's on them. If they don't leave the planet, that's on them. So there's no karma involved. We're just raising the vibration of the planet. It's about a $200 billion project. That's why we've got some very top bankers and different people involved. Can I tell you where it's going to be? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because,
now, Christopher, are you talking about the global? Are you talking about the Global Enlightenment Project?
Yeah.
Or what are you talking? Which project?
That's what we're doing. Yeah, that's the Global Enlightenment Project.
So
the Pyramid Project within it,
Oh, it's also Pyramid. Okay, tell us a little bit about that and how people can find out more information. Pyramid Project, and I know your website's Global Enlightenment Project.
Global Enlightenment Project, yeah. I mean, the Global Enlightenment Project really is healing. It's we've got Sacred Space showing on Saturday with Mandy and myself. We always hold the space, and people come on a Zoom meeting. They've got questions. We've got some things that are going on in the last month and helping people along. So, just go to globalenlightenmentproject.com. There's a lot going on at the moment. I mean, even on the planet, and sometimes people say, well, I think there's some things happening. Well, I don't want to tell you. If somebody doesn't know something major has happened to this planet, then I don't know what to tell
you know what? What do you think of? Yeah, I know, right? But it's time of the call. It's like the clarion call that we're all starting to come together more. The people that have.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this higher vibrational information, the new emerging consciousness. I mean, I've been doing this podcast a long time, and I can definitely see from the listeners, the different types of questions, what they're doing. I mean, honestly, around 2011 to probably about 2015, I was kind of worried because people were so fluffy. No one wanted to do the inner work. It was very surface. And I was like, oh my God, people were just going in cul-de-sacs with cult leaders, or like you said earlier, gurus. People were just. But something shifted. You know what? Something shifted around maybe 2018. I started. It's like the people. I don't know. Maybe it was part of the next level of awakening, but it just felt like people were more really doing the inner work, really wanting to connect in. I'm not sure. Yeah,
don't forget the human resonance. I mean, you're getting solar flares. We're being bombarded with them. That really affects your body because it's upgrading. Human resonance goes up. There is things happening to the human body. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I find it difficult to think about what to eat right now. What do I feel like? And that's actually nothing. And I'm 6'5", and I hardly eat anything. And you think, what do I eat tonight?
I've been going through that too. I've been going through that as well.
Yeah, everyone is.
What do I eat? No appetite, or I eat something that I normally eat, and then the other day I went for sushi, and then it's like, oh, no, it upset my stomach. So I've just gone really kind of bland, protein and vegetables.
Well, the
salad.
other thing about it is as well is we're ingesting a ton of emotion. It's affecting the pancreas, which produces pancreatic enzymes to put into the stomach. So most people's are low. So when you eat something, you haven't got enough enzymes. So if you do get that, you can come for healing. We can work on the pancreas, but as a band-aid, you can just take extra enzymes every meal. It'll just
extra enzymes, like digestive enzymes.
Yeah,
do you think it's because the shedding that's going on in the planet? Because there's so much. I mean, even from a psychological mainstream, with the, if we look at PTSD and the loss. I mean, all of that is in the ethers, is in the air. Do you think that is a part of what's affecting, like energetically, like in the etheric field?
Massive.
Is that what you're?
Massive.
Okay.
I mean, I'm seeing people die at the wazoo at the moment with cancer. It takes about 4 weeks if you've had the jab. And so why is that? Well, let me tell you what's in the jab. I've studied this stuff for 14 years with a world-leading industrial toxicologist who has taken people to court and won, including the Vatican, for Morgellons particles. Now, what's in this jab is Morgellons particle. So what are they? Mm-hmm. So you hear about graphene. Okay, whatever. Graphene tubes. What's in that? Well, you've got a CMOS complementary metal oxide. No, it's graphene. It's carbon-based.
Okay.
So what they're doing is putting a chip array inside it, a computer, CMOS chip. And don't forget, these things are 10 to the minus 9 small. You need an electron microscope to see them. So they're putting those, they're binding it with, so think about what you need for growth. You need carbon. Oh, we've got graphene. Okay, so what they're doing is, in a special way, they're binding nylons to it, like 3633. And they're binding plant material to it. And they're binding Borrelia to it, which is the stealth pathogen of Lyme disease. And, also within the jab is obviously spike proteins and there's HIV microinserts. Now, stealth pathogens will not replicate in the body without your immune system not creating the right response. How do you change that? Well, CRISPR technology in it, what it does is it splices the genetics. And they say it's only RNA. No, it's not. It's DNA. It's damage to the DNA, which connect the RNA, which connect the immune system, and then the lack of response means that these things start replicating. That's why if you look on the internet, they're seeing something that they call squid pulling out the arteries, of a human being. That's nylon 36. They're seeing myocarditis. Why is that happening? Because the 10 to the minus 9 small particles, it collects, they assemble around the heart. So it's not clots. It's blood getting around the particles, Morgellons particles. Now we have the spheres. What's a sphere? Well, think about a football, 10 to the minus 9 small. So think about football. But it's tiny, 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 you can't even see it. They drill 92 holes in it. And then what they do is they connect like a release mechanism at the top by a copper antenna in the center. And this is all teeny tiny, like 10 to the minus 9 small. And they load it with up to 92 viruses. So one frequency triggers one virus. So, of course, it's like a loading time bomb. So are the jabs good for you? Well, they're bioweapons, and they're killing people, So, and the shedding now is phenomenal because, of course, if this stuff grows in the body, you've got more of it, so people shed. And that's another thing, to help the shedding. Now, if you hug somebody, you're going to get shedding. If you have sex with bodily fluids, you're going to get shedding. But if you are about 2 feet away from somebody, if you do the 27 esoteric Merkaba field prayer, and can I share it with you? Is that okay?
Yes, please. Please. Yeah.
Okay, so and then you reinstate it every hour. So I'm going to do the whole thing. If you do this, and it's on the website, so you can copy it. So the 27 esoteric Merkaba field prayer goes like this. So you ground yourself. You go, I am of God. I ground myself to the earth. Dear God, I command that you create 27 esoteric Merkaba fields around me to protect me from any negative entities, fractals thereof, manipulations and transmissional frequencies that are not for my highest good through all space-time continuum in every dimension. And I thank you, God, send you my unconditional love, so be it. And then after that, once you said that map of intent, you say, and dear God, I command you reinstate it every hour for the next 24 hours. We've tested this in California, and the person who tested it without 3 days didn't get one bit of spike protein or any else shedding. So it does work as long as you're not hogging. If they come with your field, then you're going to get transmission. But that really helps cut it down, you know.
I like that. Well, that it's the bringing all that into that energetic field, right? The etheric, the molecules, everything into that intention. I mean, I think people are going to start seeing how powerful affirming is, confirming, you know, with the intention and the energy. I didn't get that, but I have not had any stuff like that since a teenager or whenever you had to, you know, school. I don't know, maybe it was earlier than teenager. I don't remember. And
I haven't either.
Fit as a fiddle. I'm very healthy, so it's like, I think.
Well, so am I. You know, I don't take. I went to the hospital once just to check something out, and they said, "Okay, what tablets you on?" Nothing. Well, you must be on something. That'd be nothing. Well, you're kidding. You must be on something. No, I'm on nothing.
Yeah.
Now I'm 61 this year, but I did that. Now I've just got to stop you there. I asked God for a discount. I said, "Can I have a discount?" I said, "Well, yeah, maybe 30 years." So I'm believing I'm 31. But that like 31. You know?
I like that. I don't believe in chronological age because I think we're timeless. But also it starts. Then you get in the loop of, by this time you should do this. This age you do this, or you undo, you retire, you do that. There's all these beliefs caught up in that.
Oh, it's nonsense.
Oh my God!
I remember my father saying.
What your father say?
My father saying, as soon as I started work, he said, "Oh, you need to save for your retirement." You got to be kidding. I mean, you forget that, you know. So you got to just live life each day and love it, you know. So.
Absolutely. Christopher, this has been amazing. Come back anytime. Let everyone know. Of course, in the description box of this episode, there is your contact info. But for those listening now and those later in the replay will be driving and doing other things, and they won't go to the description box to look. Where's the best way to reach you?
Just go to globalenlightenmentproject.com. That's globalenlightenmentproject.com. And, we have girls in the office, so if you phone the office, there's girls on the other end. I always wanted to make sure, people say, why don't you just do, internet booking? No, we're not doing that. I want to be able to speak to people. I want to be able to have representation to speak to people with great girls in the office who love people and they help them through. So, that's why we have the staff, because, I want people to feel as though someone gives a crap, because most of the time you get all this electronic stuff and, it's nonsense. So.
Yeah, bot or, schedule, you don't ever connect with someone.
Press 5 if you want a healing. Press 4,
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of, oh, gosh.
That's good for your stand-up. I love that because that's what has happened with, so many people doing this. It's like, press 5, a bot comes out and asks you something. Oh, my God.
Press 1 if you want a wee-wee, No, I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, my God.
It's been a joy.
YouTube, Yes, I've loved this. I love what you have shared. We already have some people in the chat saying they're going to re-listen. So, thanks for coming
everyone's going to get off and say, this guy's a wacko, and you're absolutely right. And I love it, because we're all wackos together,
We are, and I love what you said about the not fitting in. I think we have to be so comfortable with that. I think that's so important. It's always important,
people shame
especially
themselves.
now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, especially, ingesting that emotion, like, God, I don't fit in, and then you get anxiety with them because, no one seems to like me. It's not that they don't like you, they just think you're weird, and of course you are weird.
Yeah.
And accept that. And I'm different, right? Let's go find my people.
It's so I know it's so interesting because if you're not on that wavelength, you just don't think the same or make the same moves. It just doesn't come in. Your conscious awareness to say this or do this or take this route that other people are doing, and you just see it time and time again, and it's like, okay, I'm not thinking like them.
No, I just think sometimes you need a helping hand because you don't realize. You just think, well, I'm weird, I don't fit in. But sometimes you won't talk to people. I don't want to talk to people about it. Talk to people, and get some help and, get amongst the people. We have a thing on Friday, every Friday, 3 p.m. Central Time. It's called Heart Sharing Circle. So it's a Zoom meeting. People get on, they share things, they do meditations. We just hold the space for that because it's monitored, of course, because if everyone tries to, kind of make it all about them, hey, look, it's about the whole team.
Oh, yeah.
So we do modulate it, but people can share stuff and, they get ideas and connect with each other, and it's grown and grown. It's wonderful.
Oh, that's so important right now. Wow. Well, I'm excited about what you do and really feel good about this conversation. So thanks for coming on and sharing.
Yay, thanks for having me. Bless your heart. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week.
Yeah, you too. Take care, Christopher.
God bless. Thanks. Bless you, darling.
Bye. Bless you. Cheers. Bye. All right, everyone. Christopher Macklin. You can go to globalenlightenmentproject.com for more info. Thanks for being here and co-creating all of this with me. If you want to connect further, Instagram is the way to do it. Soul Insights in Tarot and Soul Awakening with Michele Meiche on YouTube also. We're expanding over there as well. And if you want to journey further, Soul Awakening on Patreon. We do get great guests. I love what people bring to this community. If you have guest suggestions or topic suggestions, please email our producer at awakeningspodcast@gmail.com. All right, Radiant Soul Lights, continue to shine your light, share your insights, and, of course, keep awake. I'm getting woke and staying woke. Awakenings broadcasts every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michele's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.